Hi, it's Michael. Denial is a major operating mode of the mind. It leads to suffering, and if your intention is to mature, to grow up, to evolve, it's vital to understand this and some of the ways how to avoid it. There are many ways how denial can manifest. It can be either very blatant, very in-the-face denial, like denying responsibility. I didn't do it, even though I did. Or I don't need this, even though I do need this, and so on. Or it can be more subtle form of denial, such as, this sounds interesting, sounds good, though it doesn't really apply to my life, or maybe sometime later. That's also a form of denial. And one of the most hilarious forms of denial or examples of denial is from my own family. One of my relatives living in the Czech Republic, she was in fairly poor health and her spine was crooked in so many different directions, in so many different ways, that if she tried to stand up and stand straight, her body was leaning to so many sides, it seemed almost physically impossible. And yet, when she was told that there is a chiropractic that can greatly help, she said, "We don't believe in it here, we don't need it." Well, that was extremely hilarious, and it's a fantastic example of denial. So denying responsibility is a big thing. One of the major core denials is denying the existence of higher power. Whatever you want to call the higher power as, whether you call it spirit, God, higher power, Allah, the self, divine love, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to label it as, denying that is the root of suffering, because the higher power is the essence of life, and obviously denying one's essence is going to lead suffering, because it's going to lead to a split and living in darkness, and that's not good. The mind by itself doesn't like change, and it doesn't like taking responsibility. So that's where the denial comes in, because change, especially when it is positive change, usually leads to an uncharted territory. Uncharted territory for the mind, of course. For the spirit, for your essence, it is a very charted territory, and very substantial and very rock-like assuredness, comfort, love, peace territory, but the mind is afraid of it because it doesn't understand it. So that's one of the reasons, if not the major reason, why the mind automatically throws denial into the gearing. The mind is also by its own nature lazy, and so if it has to choose between some activity, even though it leads to a positive outcome, and staying where it is, even though it may entail suffering, then it will choose the laziness, even though it means suffering. And that's one of the reasons why it is said that sloth, which is laziness, is one of the cardinal sins. Sin meaning spiritual incongruence or disharmony, non-integrity. Now, we don't have to feel guilty about it, because this is an inborn part of the mind. That's how the mind comes in this world. We just need to be aware of it so we don't fall for this entertainment, for this drama, because we do have the choice of ignoring it, not acting upon it. We always have the choice. When you look at the state of the world, when you look at how many overweight people there are, how many unhealthy people there are, how many cancers there are, how many people with poor postures there are, then it's obvious that those people are in a big denial, whether it's a blatant denial or more subtle denial. So how to protect ourselves from this? Obviously, a great deal of awareness is needed, which means living in the present moment and being aware of what the mind is doing, and the willingness to be open to positive, healthy, loving, peaceful change, and employing what could be called ruthless sincerity. Ruthless sincerity, which means examining our life, looking at our life with detachment, not judging it, just looking at our life with intelligence, with the heart, and seeing what part of our life need changing or could use changing to live in a more healthy, joyful, more maturing and evolving way. Now, as already mentioned, we are here on this planet to evolve, to mature. And if you listen to Dr. David Hawkins' talks, he talks about an energy scale of consciousness. So, because we need to evolve, let's say we need to evolve from here to here. Let's say this is the top level we can evolve to in this world. And Dr. David Hawkins said that the average person on this planet evolves about 5 points per life. So 5 points would be a tiny step in this scale. So maybe it would be here, here, another life here, another 5 points here, another 5 points here, another 5 points here. It can take a long time, and through denial, it is possible to slip back, to fall down. If we deny something that is positive, if we deny love, if we deny good health, if we deny something else positive, then we can fall back down. So it can take a long time to get from here to here if we employ denial. Yet it is inborn in us the potential to make a huge jump, let's say even from here all the way up to here. It is in us, it is a real possibility. Though for that we have to drop denial and other dramas. The denial is a major one. So it is through ruthless sincerity. Now obviously there are some things we need to say no to. For example, we need to say no to alcohol. We need to say no to smoking, no to drugs, no to junk food if we want to live a healthy life. That's not a denial. That is a healthy, intelligent saying no. Denial basically means shunning responsibility, rejecting the positive, and wallowing in suffering, in drama, in unhealthy stuff. And also how to help overcome the denial is asking the source of life for help, protection, and guidance in this. It's extremely important because, as it is said, what seems to us as an unsurmountable obstacle is but a feather to the source of life, which is understandable since the source of life is the absolute power in existence, obviously because it's the source, so it can help us with overcoming any and all obstacles. It's still up to us. It won't do things for us as in giving us silver bullets, but it will help us, it does help us to overcome obstacles when our intention and our direction is in the right, positive, loving, healthy way. And of course, as in all my talks, I do have to mention a chiropractic and a neuro-emotional technique, NET, healthcares, because they are instrumental and extremely helpful in overcoming all these obstacles. Because denial is also tied to positionalities, and positionalities can be detected and dissolved by the use of neuro-emotional technique, NET, plus also chiropractic helps the nervous system flow better, stronger, and thus you have more power, more energy to plow through all this denial and other BS. Okay, so that's it for this talk. If there are any questions or comments, they can be left below the video. Wishing you a healthy and joyful life. Michael out.